And there you have it, folks. The drivers in the USF2000 category have rolled onto the racetrack. What a fantastic drive it was for Bobby Santos there in that Silver Crown main event. Great show. Tyler Rohrig rolling up big time in the back there as well. But we have our drivers here, 16 strong in USF2000, lined up and ready to go once the front straightaway is cleared. We got lots more racing coming for you here. A couple of events on the USF Pro Championship. Those of you tuning in now to our live broadcast on the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel or potentially on the mobile app, we say hello to you. We know we have people watching in from around the country, of course, around the world as well. A great field of racers here from, of course, Canada. We've talked about a number of Americans. We've got Lucky Hughes from Australia. We've got Mexican drivers as well. So a number of different international faces in this category, even more in the USF Pro 2000 event, which will cap it off. This is the Freedom 75. Again, the only oval for the drivers here in USF 2000. They're getting set to go. So let's have a look at the grid as 16 drivers ready to roll off here to get things underway for a 75 lapper around this 5/8 mile oval. Again, my name is Rob Howden. Great to be here at IRP. Row number 8 on the outside, Danny Dazelski, just 15 years of age, and the number 18 starting on the outside in the VRD machine. His teammate at VRD, Gordon Scully, in the number 19, starting on the inside of that row. Working our way now up to row number 7, Maxwell Jameson in the number 12 out of Houston, Texas for D-Force Racing. His first time on an oval, first year as a rookie here in the USF 2000 category. He'll start 14th. And on the inside, out of Golden, Colorado for Exclusive Autosport in the number 91, one of our regular drivers of the USF Juniors program, the entry program, the first step into this USF Pro Championships. Joey Brienza in the number 91, starting in the 13th spot. Watch for Brienza to move forward, much more comfortable with his race car from qualifying through to the practice earlier today. Up now to row number 6 on the outside, just 14 years of age in the Advanced Auto Parts Pabst Racing, number 24 out of Florida. That is Max Garcia. Garcia starting 12th, but he was quickest in practice earlier this afternoon. I think he'll be a driver to watch coming through the field. And if you're an Indiana driver, we got a couple to cheer for here. This one out of Indianapolis, Indiana, in the Sarah Fisher Hartman Racing, number 67, the drive planning machine, Elliot Cox, starting on the inside of row number 6. Going to the top 10 now on the outside. Another one of our Texans, Avery Towns, has shown good speed throughout these last couple of days. Rookie in the series, but he has really taken to this oval competition. Avery Towns in the number 93 for Exclusive Autosport, starting in 10th. Alongside Towns, another driver to watch for sure. Already a 2-time winner on the season. Second place in points coming in for Pabst Racing. Out of Georgia, it is the number 22 of Simon Sykes, starting in the 9th spot. Again, very quick in the afternoon warm-up. Row number 4, another one of the young drivers in the series, got his first win at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, a graduate of our USF Juniors program from Cornelius, North Carolina, Sam Corey for VRD Racing, starting in the number 14 outside of row number 4, P8, and on the inside from Mexico, it's George Garcia for D-Force Racing in the number 10. Row number 3 on the outside, another one of our drivers from the Indianapolis area, from Fortville, Indiana, for J. Howard Driver Development, Al Morey the 4th in the number 7, starting 6th position, and on the inside, all the way from Australia, but he's been living here in Indianapolis for the last couple of years, your point leader, 3 wins on the season, the Aussie Lucky Hughes for J. Howard Driver Development in that number 8 machine, starting in 5th. We'll go to row number 2 now on the outside. 15th birthday was yesterday. Already a race winner on the season at the Grand Prix of St. Petersburg. Keep an eye out for Nikita Johnson out of Florida in the VRD Racing machine. What a talent he is. Johnson in the number 17, starting 4th. And on the inside, one of the easier cars to pick up on the racetrack, no doubt about it. It is the number 95 out of Prosper, Texas, Chase Gardner for Exclusive Autosport. He'll start his best position of the year on the inside of row number 2. 16 drivers in the field, 2 on the front row. Starting on the outside out of Loveland, Ohio for J. Howard Driver Development. It's been a great start to the season, currently 4th in points. Evagores Papasavas in the number 6, starting on the outside of the front row, but from Milton, Ontario, Canada, our reigning USF Juniors champion. There's the scholarship colors. He took a bunch of money for the scholarship, over $220,000 to make this move up to USF 2000. Matt Clark for D-Force Racing, starting on the pole position. He will lead them into turn number 1. Again, Clark and Papasavas on row 1. Gardner and Johnson, row 2. Hughes and Morey, row 3. Garcia and Corey, row 4. Sykes and Towns cap off your top 10. Cox and Garcia, 2 drivers definitely to watch from row 6. Brienza and Jameson, row 7. And Scully and Dazelski on row number 8. Of course, as part of our USF Pro Championships, we have a great relationship with the good folks from the AMR IndyCar safety team, and we have a number of those individuals with us here. And, of course, they're taking a look around the racetrack after 146 laps of USAC Silver Crown action. Getting an opportunity just to check the track over a little bit so these drivers can get out here and get out. A 75-lapper for drivers in USF 2000. We'll follow it up with a 90-lapper, the Freedom 90 for the drivers in USF Pro 2000. All these cars, same engine from Elite Engines, built 170 horsepower. The chassis, Tatis chassis, the USF22 built in Italy. All the drivers with the same chassis, same Cooper tires, a spec program. Really about the drivers and driver development, and they, again, are all chasing the scholarship to make that next move up into USF Pro 2000. If you win this program, the Discount Tire Scholarship Program, $433,000 is the prize to win the championship in USF 2000. You take that scholarship, you move to the Pro 2000 category from there. If you win Pro 2000, the prize, $664,000 to move to the Indy Next Series. At that point, you're just a couple of steps away from the Indianapolis 500. Looking forward to the big race, the greatest spectacle in racing, this coming Sunday. And the cool thing about that race, the 500, there's a number of drivers. If you've been coming out to the Carbonite Classic for a number of years, you got a chance to see drivers you'll see in the 500 that are here this weekend. Obviously, Kyle Kirkwood being one of the ones we talk about a lot. Devlin DeFrancesco, Renus VK, of course, as well. David Malukas. So many drivers that have come through running here at the Carbonite Classic, part of this USF Pro Championship, the program formerly known as the Road to Indy. Still, of course, presented by Cooper Tires, our valued partner. Discount Tire, again, a brand new partner for us, the official tire retailer of the USF Pro Championships. Skip Barber Racing School is the official racing school of our program as well. Part of the scholarship program to a certain extent as well. If you run the Skip Barber Formula Series, you win that. It's a $100,000 scholarship to move up to USF Juniors in 2024. And if you like what you see here, again, you can download the USF Pro Championships app, get a chance to watch all of our races online. You can always watch as well at the USF Pro Championships YouTube channel or any of the series websites as well, USF2000.com, USFjuniors.com, and USFpro2000.com. Great crowd here tonight. Really, we couldn't ask for better weather. We've had times, as you all know, where it's rained, we've waited it out, we've gotten late, we've had to maybe go the next day, but absolutely perfect late May weather. Up into the high 70s, 71 degrees here now. I think it was a high of about 77. Not a cloud in the sky. Perfect weather for an awesome Friday night short track show. Kudos to the midget drivers and the Silver Crown drivers for putting on a show there as well. Excited to fire things up for these young drivers. Anywhere from 14 to about 23 years of age on the grid here for USF 2000. We'll see which driver is going to put a Freedom 75 victory on their resume. Driver we'll see in the next race, USF Pro 2000, has really dominated this race for the last couple of years. Michael D. Orlando, who runs for Turn 3 Motorsports this year in Pro 2000, won the USF 2000 Championship last year and also back-to-back wins in 2021 and 2022 in the Freedom 75. He knows how to get around this bad, fast 5/8 mile oval. Who will show it today? Matt Clark with a tremendous qualifying run to put himself P1. You look at the stats over the last number of years, you qualify P1, you're giving yourself a fantastic chance to win. We don't have, I think we went through USF 2000, the furthest anybody's come forward is 6th position. Again, we've got some fast guys outside of the top 6. Simon Sykes in 9th, Max Garcia in 12th, Elliot Cox 11th. Those drivers could dial things in and set a record for deepest start spot for a race win. First, second, or third, normally where it comes from. So you got to lay it out for Matt Clark, Evagoras Papasavas, and Chase Gardner. So many of these young drivers, of course, coming through the karting ranks. There's a lot of fantastic racetracks, kart tracks in the state of Indiana. 2 of them right here, really in Indianapolis. One, of course, Newcastle Motorsports Park, and a fantastic track. The oldest continually running kart track in North America, Whiteland Raceway Park, down in Whiteland. owned by Sarah Fisher and Andy O'Gara. They have poured a ton of money into that track. It is a jewel for karting in Indiana and truly in the USA as well. And it is going to continue to develop great drivers as they work their way up here into the USF Pro Championship and potentially into the USAC program as well. Firing things up, folks. The engine's coming to life on pit lane. Again, 170 horsepower. They're going to run that high line. We'll see whether or not all that rubber being put down by the Silver Crown cars are going to give these guys a chance to use that low groove. It's a high line race, but man, when you get into lap traffic, as we know, we saw it in the Silver Crown race, you got to get at it. You got to get aggressive. Lockie Hughes, as I said, coming in, point leader by 14 markers over Simon Sykes. Drivers lighting them up here. 3 wins on the season for Lockie Hughes. 1 each at the 3 events. He's won at St. Petersburg, Sebring, and Indianapolis. Can Lockie Hughes keep that streak alive? Simon Sykes still coming from deeper in the field, as we know. Started all the way back in 9th. Needs a big run here, but he was really good in testing all day yesterday. Just didn't get a good qualifying run. So field is rolling. Our USF Pro 2000 drivers back in the pit area, getting themselves strapped in, ready to go. We've had good success with clean races out of these USF 2000 drivers. Great shot down the back straightaway there. Again, for those of you watching at home, I'm sure a bunch of race fans from Lockie Hughes down in Australia. I don't know if you're up early or staying up late, but thanks. I'm sure he loves it. Couple of warm-up laps. They'll go 2 by 2 down the back straightaway. Mac Clark and Evagoras Papasavas front row. D-Force Racing, Jay Howard driver development. Tail of the field coming into position. 75 laps of racing. Set to go here at Indianapolis Raceway Park, the USF Pro Championships and USF 2000 out of 4. And we are green, green, green. Solid start. Clark to the very top of the racetrack. Papasavas is going to go down to the bottom. Clark going to try to hold. Good run for Nikita Johnson. He'll go to P4. We're 3 wide coming out of turn number 2. Down the back straightaway. Big run. Further deep in the field. One driver getting off it. Look at Elliot Cox at the bottom of the racetrack. Cox making it 3 wide. Out front, Papasavas right there on Clark. Good little fight potentially here for P4 as well, as that is Nikita Johnson, Chase Gardner, and Lockie Hughes, your point leader. Simon Sykes gets a couple of spots on the opening circuit. He'll go up to P2. Sykes attacking. Cox gets a good move there. He gets by Garcia Arce. So Elliot Cox pushing the drive planning Tatis. Nice run for Cox early. This is where you got to be smart though and settle in. Don't make the mistake of overcooking it. Clark and Papasavas out to the lead. This is where you don't want to burn those tires off. You got the lead. Just cruise a bit here now. Nikita Johnson runs in 3rd, Gardner 4th, Hughes 5th, Sam Corey up into 6th spot. What a great start to this race. Everybody settling. A couple of 2x2s a little further back. You can see Gardner there trying to close back up here on Nikita Johnson. There's that pack further back, 2 wide. Yeah, these guys are getting after it. They're right behind the 7 of Al Moore. That's Sykes and Towns, Cox and Garcia. Towns is going to cruise up in front of Cox and make Cox get a better run out of the corner, and a huge run down the back straightaway for Elliot Cox. He'll put it down to the bottom. High side's a little better. He's got to keep it down there. Just Towns on top. Cox is going to get the job done, I believe, this time through. No, look at it. Towns holding the top side. Cox trying to get the bottom now to get another one. He's going to see if he can't go by Sam Corey. Look at this fight. There's Gardner looking to the inside as well. Chase Gardner, side by side. He is to the inside of Nikita Johnson. Oh, wiggle in the middle, and he holds it. Handful of race car for Chase Gardner. Man, this track just gives so much exciting racing. Thinking about 3 wide, a little bit further back. Nope. There's your lead right now. And there's Gardner again, side by side with the 17. Max Garcia rolling his way up here as well. I think he might potentially was able to get by Sam Corey. We'll try to pick up where Garcia is. He's actually by Avery Towns now. So Garcia, the driver, on the move here as well. Clark, your leader. Papasava second. Gardner has been able to take third back from Nikita Johnson. Lockie Hughes runs in fifth. Sixth, Morey. Seventh, Sykes. Eighth, Cox. Ninth, Garcia. 10th is Towns. Driver's doing a great job here right now, just early into a 75 lapper. And again, 100% concentration for 75 laps. Clark across the start finish, looking pretty good here now. Got to be happy with where he's rolling. There it is, the Canadian Matt Clark hitting the marks for D-Force Racing out front. All good so far for the USF Juniors champion from last year. Starting to get a little darker here now. Drivers trying some different lines around this racetrack to see whether or not the grip level came up a little bit potentially with the Silver Crown cars being out there. Clark down the back chute, building that gap. You can be sure that his spotter is right there with him, telling him exactly what to do. There's Cox, Garcia as well. Max Garcia having a pretty solid run right now. Remember, started much deeper in the field. Yellow flag. We have a driver who has come to a stop down the back straightaway into the pit lane entry on the back chute. That looks like, I think that's the number 18 of Dzelski. So trouble for Danny Dzelski in the 18, and that big lead for Matt Clark. 1.6 seconds goes bye-bye. Stack them and repack them. And it's Matt Clark as the leader. He led the first 12 laps. Evagoras Papasavas in second. Chase Gardner third. Nikita Johnson in fourth position. Lockie Hughes in fifth. Sixth spot is Al Morey. Seventh, Simon Sykes. Eighth, Elliot Cox. Cox from 11th to 8th. Right behind him, Max Garcia from 12th to 9th. So a 3-position improvement for both of those drivers. Avery Town started 10th, runs 10th. George Garcia in 11th. Sam Corey 12th. Joey Brienza 13th. 14th, Maxwell Jamison. 15th, Gordon Scully. And 16th, Danny Dzelski. So just an issue, some kind of a mechanical for Dzelski. He slows down the back straightaway. This is not going to take long before we're back to green flag racing at all. They'll get him towed to his pit, and they'll see if they can't potentially fire him back up. Always trying to get as much time as possible. So Matt Clark, back to pace car speed. And again, that 1.6 second lead that he had gone. But he'll be pretty happy, I think, with the ability that he had to stretch that lead out a little bit, cool the tires down a bit here now. And again, he'll be the guy that's able to punch off. He's going to get that opportunity to pull away. He was side by side, of course, with Papasavas at the start. Papasavas put a lot of pressure on him. But now Clark's going to be able to be that. He'll get that element of surprise, whether it's a split second, whatever it may be. But he'll be the first driver on the power. He'll be the first guy rolling into the high side of turn one. So I don't see Papasavas being able to get enough of a draft at the straightaway, especially on the restart, to take that position away. So right now, Clark looks pretty good. Again, the biggest movers here were Elliot Cox and Max Garcia, both drivers up 3 in this first stint, 15 laps down, 60 laps still to go. Fastest lap, Chase Gardner, 22.596 for the Texan. Lap number 9, laid one down. He actually got challenged and got passed by Nikita Johnson, but Chase put his head back down, went in at him, got to the inside, took a couple of laps as it normally does, but got right at it. Pace car on the throttle, into the pit lane, back to the hands of Matt Clark in the D-Force Racing number 1, the scholarship car. USF Junior Champion from 2022. Gets himself into the restart zone. And Clark on the power. Again, he'll jump a length on Papasavas. Now back to running the high side. 2 by 2. And Nikita Johnson trying to get an advantage on the bottom. Let's see if he holds. Gardner needs to get that big run out if he wants to hold him back. As down to the bottom goes Nikita Johnson. Side by side through 3 and 4. Hold your breath. Good run on the outside though for Gardner. Tires might not quite have up to temperature enough after the cool down there for Nikita. But Nikita Johnson, this kid literally just turned 15 years of age yesterday, and he is mature beyond his years. I'm telling you that. That's a name you're going to want to watch here. Nikita Johnson, won in his hometown of St. Petersburg, lives right in nearby Gulfport, scored that big win at the start of the season. He'll be battling for championships all the way up the ranks. Only 15 years of age now. We're keying in on this fight here as well. One of the Jay Howard cars, I think that might be Al Morey, potentially going at it, trying to get by Simon Sykes. Sykes, of course, has got Lockheed Hughes. Yeah, Simon Sykes in a sandwich of Jay Howard driver development cars. That's, what, 5th, 6th, and 7th. Sykes in that 22 Pabst racing machine. If he can't go to work, that's really one of the championship battles right there. They're running 5th and 6th right now, but they're 1st and 2nd in points. Lockheed Hughes and Simon Sykes. Sykes really does need to go to work here. Simon Sykes does not want to lose any more points. It's a 14-point advantage already for Lockheed Hughes after the first 7 races of the season. Nikita Johnson, 41 back. Papasavas, 79 back. And Corey, 91 back. A victory here for Matt Clark would be big. And here's the side-by-side run. This is Cox and Garcia. They started on the same row. This is 8th and 9th. And Garcia trying to use the bottom part of the racetrack. Garcia just 14 years of age. Cox only 15. I think he's 15, maybe 16 now. Cox, we're using that top line though. Understand the car's a lot better up there. It's not as twitchy. You're not working those Cooper tires quite as much. You run that bottom line for too many laps and you are punishing the Coopers. Sykes is closed up there, I believe, yeah? Simon Sykes now going to work on Lockheed Hughes, 1st and 2nd in the points. Just ahead of them, Nikita Johnson, the VRD driver. 4 different teams in the top 4 right now. D-Force, Jay Howard, Exclusive Autosport, VRD Racing. And this is Sykes working the bottom on Lockheed Hughes, and it's a slide. Ho-ho! Simon Sykes, the veteran driver in this field full of rookies. He is working the bottom of the racetrack. He has got quick hands. And he's going to see if he can't finish this slide job. Dives into the corner. Lets it ride up a little bit. Use the racetrack, and he does. Simon Sykes, book it. Through in turn number 3, Sykes goes to P5. Simon Sykes started 9th, up to 5th. Lockheed Hughes trying to go back down to the bottom. Let's see if Sykes is better on the top. Can he run the top side? Car looks pretty good, both those drivers. Let's see Lockheed Hughes at the bottom. Does he get any kind of oversteer? No, he's holding that bottom pretty good. Oh. 1st and 2nd in points. Trying to be smart. Long way to Portland, Labor Day weekend finale. And again, Sykes running the top side. Lockie Hughes, look at this great side-by-side battle for P5. Sykes trying to complete it, took a bunch of laps to get it done. Now can he put his head down and try to reel in Nikita Johnson? Up front, it's Matt Clark, Papasavas, and Gardner. But Simon Sykes, the driver, on the move right now. The number 22 of Simon Sykes out of Atlanta, Georgia. Lives now in Augusta. And this battle side by side continuing between Cox and Garcia as well. Wow. 8th and 9th. Garcia trying to get it done. Cox not giving it up. Garcia, oh, big mid-corner wiggle. Woo. I'm sure that one caught him out a little bit. And again, unlike the road courses these drivers will normally run, where you give the mind a little bit of a break, give your hands a bit of a break, give the whole body a break on these long straightaways. Not here at IRP. This is 100% focus from green to checker. You can see Garcia, pretty good grip on the bottom. Lots of forward bite coming on the bottom out of turn number 2. May be able to get it done this time, but Cox mid-corner's a lot better. And they're again side by side. Now this is an issue here for Garcia. Cox is taking care of the tires. It's not hurting his tires at all. But Garcia could be punishing those tires a bit. We'll see how that plays out. We're not even at the halfway point here. 31 laps down. It'll be 32 when Matt Clark gets back around here. He's built the gap up to 2 seconds. Both these drivers here are just waiting for one of them to make a bit of a mistake. And Garcia running cleanly in the bottom. 2 weeks ago at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, an incident saw Garcia get into the back of Max Taylor, one of our USF Juniors drivers, launch over top of Taylor and essentially crest the top of Cox's halo. A very scary incident. The halo most definitely saving Elliott from some injury. But these two drivers spent a lot of time together at Indianapolis. 8th and 9th, battling it out like they're going for the lead at the 500. But this is where you learn it, folks. Before you get to the 500, this is where you learn side by side. Let's come back to another battle here. I think that's Avery Towns on the top side, and I believe below him, that'll be George Garcia-Arce. So Towns trying to go to work on Garcia-Arce. This would be for 10th. And Avery Towns, who has been a rookie to the series, coming out of SCCA, Formula X, and Formula Mazda Racing, has really been, I would say, one of the most improved drivers on the season so far. So impressive. And is really getting a good feel for the oval here as well. Trying the top side on Garcia-Arce, but not quite enough. We got some really good battles. How about the one for the lead? Is that the lead or is this? No, this is, I think, is a lap car. I believe this is Clark going around Maxwell Jamison. I thought we might have had a battle for the lead, but no, it's 1.5 seconds back to Papasavas. This is now Nikita Johnson and Simon Sykes for 4th. Got some great one-on-one battles here. Sykes has been so good. P4 move potentially for Sykes. He's trying to close back up in the championship chase. Sykes to the bottom of the racetrack. Nice low exit at turn number 4. You can see how nervous that car is mid-corner, but he's working it. Sykes coming forward. Past the halfway point now. Actually, one more lap. We'll see 38 down and 37 to go. 75 lapper. Oh, a little trouble there for Sykes. Had to pedal it. Gave Johnson a little more time. Again, Sykes to the bottom. He's got a faster car. There's no doubt about it. He's just got to get by. If he gets by, he's gone. He's just trying to get the job done, and there's a good little mid-corner run. Johnson didn't go quite as high. Trying to take the air off the front wing a bit. Again, look at this. Nikita, yeah, he's pinching down a little bit. Nikita trying to run more of a defensive line on the entries. Al Morey right there with Lockie Hughes, his teammate as well. Alamori running in 7th, Hughes 6th. I think Simon Sykes may be going back to get some fresh air on that front wing, cool those tires off a little bit. There's Elliot Cox. He's been able to pull away a bit from that fight with Garcia. So indeed, Matt Clark, the driver up front, working his way through lap traffic. There he is there. Clark in the D-Force Racing #1. All part of the learning curve for these young drivers in the USF Pro Championship. And again, this USF2000 program, the middle rung of the USF Pro Championships. You start in USF Juniors. If you're a young driver, you go to the Skip Barber Racing School in the Formula Car Series. Then you move up into USF Juniors, then to USF2000, then Pro 2000, which we'll see next. And learning how to deal with lap traffic is crucial. Clark now with open racetrack now. Matt Clark looking for his first win of 2024. I'd mentioned at the start of the broadcast that he was looking for his first win, of course, of 2023 rather, because he won last Labor Day weekend at Portland in a one-off. But looking to get that first win of the year here. That went at the end of last year. He was kind of a fact-finding mission, getting a chance to try the USF2000, knowing he was moving into a full campaign this year. But he hasn't got that win yet against these drivers here this year. It's coming. Could be tonight. We've had a Canadian win here at the Carb Night Classic before in the Freedom 75. That was Parker Thompson with Exclusive Autosport. Is Matt Clark the next Canadian winner of the Freedom 75? Long way to go still. 30 laps remaining. 30 to go. Back to the fight here between Cox and Garcia. Race-long scrap. But let's be real. They're closing up on Al Maury and Lucky Hughes as well. I know that Garcia wants to get by, but if they work together a little bit more, they may find themselves with an opportunity to battle for not just where they are on the racetrack now, 8th and 9th, but maybe 6th and 7th. Because they're closing up right there. That's Al Maury. It's Maury in front of Cox. Cox, obviously, that car's so easy to pick up on the racetrack. It's Maury in front of him, and then Lucky Hughes, your point leader. So a 14-point lead for Lucky Hughes. Simon Sykes is moving right now. He's got an opportunity to kind of make up some points here. Sykes running in that 4th spot. Put him right at 200 points. Hughes now running 6th. He'd be at 208. Get it down to 8 points. But we're not done here yet, because again, Cox and Garcia are coming on strong here on Maury and potentially Lucky Hughes. The Cooper Tires, Freedom 75 here at IRP. Awesome run thus far. Just a single caution for the issue with Danny Dzelski coming to a stop on the pit lane entry. Unsafe position on the racetrack, had to go yellow, didn't take long to get him back to his pits, went back to green flag racing. Matt Clark handling that restart. Papa Sava still really running strongly right now in 2nd. He's, 4 seconds up on Chase Gardner, who's another 1.5 seconds up on Simon Sykes, who has got by Nikita Johnson. So Simon Sykes to 4th. And look at this gaggle of cars. As Cox in the 67 and Garcia in the number 24 closing up. They're going to try to get by Al Maury. He's trying to go to the bottom of Maxwell Jamison. So this is where lap cars start to play a role. Garcia looking to see if he can't set a pick on Cox. Cox has got to get down. You do not want to get caught up behind the slower car. And that's what's happened. Cox is going to try to run the high side. And Cox got pick. Yeah, Garcia stayed to the bottom. Cox needed to get to the bottom in turn number 3. So move Garcia now up into 8th position. Maxwell Jamison running his line as you're supposed to. Right there as well is Joey Brienza, I believe. He's running 13th. Cox able to go to the bottom on him. Quick rundown, full field rundown here on lap number 53. Clark the leader, Papasavas runs 2nd, Gardner 3rd, Sykes and Johnson 4th and 5th, 6th is Lucky Hughes, 7th Al Maury, 8th now Max Garcia, 9th is Elliot Cox, 10th is Jorge Garcia, 11th is Avery Towns, 12th is Sam Corey, 13th Joey Brienza, 14th Maxwell Jamison, 15th Gordon Scully, and a retiree on lap number 9, Danny Dzelski, out of the race. Elliot Cox need to put his head back down, but again, you saw the pressure we saw from Simon Sykes working his way by Nikita Johnson. Once he was by, he was able to get away. Sykes now has a second and a half, I believe, on Johnson. One of the Jay Howard driver development cars down the back straightaway. I think that might, so hard to pick up the numbers. I think that's Al Morey in the 7. A lot of open race. Yeah, that's Al Morey out of Fortville, Indiana. Having a good run here in 7th position. Al Morey coming off a rough weekend at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway because started things off with a 7th in race number 1, then had a couple issues, 17th and 13th in race 2 and 3. Great bounce back for Morey, who of course wants to be good here at one of the hometown races. And if he's able to get by his teammate Lockie Hughes, what a kind of confidence booster that would be. He's got a good hot rod. So does that guy right there, Mac Clark. It is working for Mac right now. Up on the high side of the racetrack, taking care of the Coopers. 57 laps down. 18 laps to go for Clark. USF Pro 2000 up next. And it's smooth sailing right now for Matt Clark up front. Full advantage of that pole position he got in qualifying. Clark keeping that car up nice and tidy. In fact, he's got the fastest lap time, 22.4, but that came back on lap number 22. Simon Sykes was a couple laps ago, 22.6. I think Simon Sykes may be the fastest driver on the racetrack right now. Last time by 22.7, and there, oh, here's a battle as well. What do we got going here? That's Chase Gardner, and he's battling with Simon Sykes to try to go to P3. Gardner's gonna throw it to the bottom of the track. That's what you have to do. He did not want to get caught up behind that car, and he went down to the bottom. Sykes had to bail out of it. Gardner may have just saved 3rd spot for himself right there, because he's going to be able to try to use the high side to pull away, because Simon Sykes, as I said, one of the fastest drivers on the racetrack right now. 15 to go. Gardner trying to get on the podium in 3rd. Chase Gardner comes into the day 9th in points right now. His best finish on the season, the 5th at Sebring. Love to be on the podium. The driver from Prosper, Texas for Exclusive Autosport. Did a one-off last year in Indianapolis on the road course. Putting together a full-time program here with Exclusive. And look at this, big move to the bottom there for Sykes, trying to get the grip in the bottom. Clean air over the wings, keep the car in the rear mirrors of the drivers in front of you. Sykes looks really good. Gardner does not want to give it up at all, though. I just don't know if he's going to be able to hold him back. Sykes looks like he's got the best hot rod here right now. Again, to the bottom of the track. Right to the inside. And looking to try to finish it coming out here. And he does, I believe. Not quite yet. Gardner trying to hold him off. Still a great run here for Chase Gardner. He's going to keep the top side. Gardner. You can get grip up there. That's the fast way around. Got to be on the power. Got to trust the car. Not a solid run for Chase. Holding off Simon. What a battle. Not wanting to give it up at all. Laps winding down. Oh, they're so close coming through 2. Look at this fight. Veteran driver in Simon Sykes, 2-time SCCA Runoffs national champion, part of the Team USA Scholarship Program. Many starts, but never a full-time ride with a top team. This is Sykes' opportunity. Battling with a young rookie here. And he does not want to give it up. Gardner still on the top side. Great racing out of both of these young guys. Wow. 10 laps to go. Can Gardner keep him pinned down? Look how close they are. Oh, man. This is tremendous stuff. Both these drivers giving each other just enough room. Gardner trying to keep Sykes pinned to the bottom. Work those tires. Work Sykes' tires. It's going to take one slip up. Sykes has got good. Oh, does he inch a bit here? No, again, mid-corner. He had to get out of it a bit. Little mid-corner. Drop the wheel below. Gardner still holding the spot. This is classic USF 2000 racing at IRP. It's been happening here like this for 3 decades. So many great drivers have won here. And this is a great look at these both cars wiggling mid-corner. Car control. Oh, man. And Sykes, I think, finally able to get it done, trying to go back to the top. Gardner, I think, just doesn't have it. Sykes has gone to P3. This is going to be huge for the championship, too, as they run on the racetrack. Sykes would have 204 points. Lockie Hughes in 6, 208. As they run on the racetrack, the point lead, leading this race, will be just 4 points for Lockie Hughes. And back to this scrap. As the laps wind down, Max Garcia able to get by Al Mori, so move Max Garcia to 7th. Remember, Garcia started back in 12th. He's up 5 spots. That's Gordon Scully, a lap car in front of Garcia now. He'll go to the bottom. Scully's done a great job running his line. Mori trying to see if he can't capitalize still. Cox right back there as well in 9th. Elliott started 11th up to 9th. He's had a good run. Solid day for Elliott Cox. Good experience on the oval. Maury going back to the bottom. He ain't done. 4 laps to go, though, for Matt Clark. This one's almost done. The Canadian trying to bring home his first win of 2023. Backing up that big victory. After winning the championship in USF Juniors and the Circuit of the Americas in Austin, put together a program to run with D-Force Racing at Portland for the series finale weekend of USF 2000. Came away with a victory. Has not yet got that win in 2023, but this could be the day. He'll 3 laps to go for Clark. He's got some lap drivers in front of him, but really nobody behind him. Evagoras Papasavas. Evagoras has just had a good run in 2nd. Journeyman day. Didn't have anything for the leader, but holding strong. Look at his fight further back as well. I believe they're trying to come around to get by Avery Towns. This is a scrap. Back to Clark. He'll work his way to the top side. Scully goes to the bottom. White flag flying this time by. 1 more lap. The family back in Milton is going to be pumped. A lot of racers in this family. And Clark looking to win on the oval. This will be big for the championship battle for him as well. Down the back straightaway. Just a couple of quarters to go. And the winner of the 2023 Freedom 75 is Matt Clark for D-Force Racing. The Canadian wins the victory by over 4.5 seconds from Papasavas. It actually goes down to 3.5 as he cruised over the final circuit. What a battle throughout the field, but not for the race win. Matt Clark dominated the action. Wow. 3.7 was the final margin. Matt Clark, Evagoras Papasavas, and Simon Sykes goes to P3. Remember, Sykes started 9th, up 6. What a drive for Simon Sykes. And an incredible run as well for Chase Gardner as he ends up in 4th. Nikita Johnson 5th. And down to the victory lane here at the Indianapolis Raceway Park, Matt Clark. I think he was supposed to potentially bring it into pit lane. Someone's got to jump out and tell him to come back to pit lane. I think he's going to refire it. He saw what the midget and the Silver Crown cars guys did. He figured that's where he was going. Clark will refire that machine, I believe, and bring it back around pit lane so we can get things underway here. Wow. That's just a great run. Yeah, he'll refire it. So Clark with the win, 3.7 seconds up. Evagoras Papasavas ends up in 2nd. Simon Sykes, as I said, a great drive to 3rd. Chase Gardner, impressive all day long. Finishes 4th. Nikita Johnson, P5. Lockie Hughes in 6th spot. Max Garcia in 7th. Al Mori ends up in 8th. 9th was Elliott Cox in 10th. George Garcia. Avery Towns, 11th. Sam Corey, 12th. Maxwell Jamison, 13th. Joey Brienza in 14th spot. Gordon Scully in 15th. And Danny Dzelski, the issue, as we said, on lap number 9. Only the one yellow flag for Dzelski, who pulled off the racetrack. Otherwise, almost another green to checker race. 4 in a row, essentially, just one yellow for USF 2000. So impressive. And Clark this time will bring it into pit lane. We'll do that, these victory celebrations from pit lane. We'll bring our USF Pro drivers out here. What a drive there for Matt Clark. He'll be pumped with that one for sure. Indeed, folks, out of the car. There he is, Matt Clark. Give him a round of applause, folks. What a great drive. The young Canadian, big victory. Green to checker, did not put a wheel wrong. This will be one that he'll remember for the rest of his career. Big victory for the crew as well from D-Force Racing, David Martinez, Ernesto Martinez. I know that Mac's dad, Stu Clark here, I believe. Getting some kudos there from Simon Sykes as well, Augie Paps as well, giving him a shout out. Yeah, he'll be happy with that for sure. Great opportunity for this young driver. Have a little bit of celebrations down there as well, of course. I think I saw the victory podium getting rolled into position. Not quite sure where it is at this point. More racing, of course, still to come with USF Pro 2000. Those drivers ready to go at it. Simon Sykes having a quick chat. They got to get out of the cars and get themselves weighed as well. Minimum weight, of course, for all the categories. And there's Evagoras Papasavas as well. P2. Big for Papasavas. It'll move him a little closer. Papasavas, Johnson, Sykes, Clark, all moving up, closing up on the leader. Lockie Hughes, who ended up finishing in 6th position. Lockie started 5th, finished 6th. The only guy that was able to get by him was Simon Sykes. Great show for Simon. Going to P3. He'll be pleased with that, starting as deep as he did back in 9th. 6th position improvement for Simon Sykes. Indeed, here comes that podium. Love it. Clark, Papasavas, and Sykes will be part of this celebration. First victory on the season for Matt Clark, who won the USF Juniors program last year. Victor, as I said, at Portland International Raceway. Season finale last year in the category. Great job for the young Canadian driver. Again, as I said, last time we had a Canadian win here at IRP in this category was Parker Thompson, I believe, a number of years ago. I want to say maybe 2017, top of my head. Number of people coming down to, of course, give their well wishes to Matt Clark, the media down there as well. Get a chance to get some quotes. We'll get things underway with our podium presentation. Again, we'll have the drivers in the Pro 2000 category. They're actually rolling out of the back gate right now to get themselves out here. 90 lapper for these drivers, but remember, 50 more laps, but 80 more horsepower too. Way more downforce. These guys are going to haul the mail around this track. Once we do get things dialed in for our podium presentations for the top 3 of the Cooper Tires Freedom 75, a couple of our guests, or one of our guests from Discount Tire is going to help us out, pass some trophies out here today. There's Jay Howard, Of course, former USF2000 champion, former Indy Next champion, former multi-time Indianapolis 500 starter, the team owner for Jay Howard Driver Development, chatting with his young charge, Evagoras Papasavas, who has been so impressive out of the gate this year. Indeed, the Pro 2000 cars rolling up here onto the front straightaway. Big field in this category. I'm telling you, it's been awesome this year in this class. 18 drivers. Biggest field we've had here at a Carbonite Classic event, Freedom 90, in many, many years. Getting things dialed in down there to get underway, pass some hardware out, spray a little champagne, and fire things up for the drivers in Pro 2000. Again, all the drivers will tell you that when they get to the NTT IndyCar Series, they remember back when they were running in USF 2000 or USF Pro 2000, remembering those days, whether it's a Kyle Kirkwood or Arenas VK. Devlin DiFrancesco, of course, one of the drivers. He ran in the Pro 2000 class a couple years ago. It's a special night, obviously, as you guys all know. What a great Hoosier 100 that was. A lot of fans down by the fence now, shouting out to their favorite drivers. A couple of Indiana drivers in this particular race coming up here as well. One starting on the pole, Jack William Miller. We'll go through the full grid before we roll things up here, but a little further back to Jackson Lee as well, out of Avon, Indiana. We are looking to get things rolling with our drivers here. Got to wrangle them up and get them over to the stage. That's one of the things we deal with all the time. They're chatting away with their coaches, family, team owners. Think we're getting close. Let's see the drivers getting themselves back into the other side of the podium here, and we'll get things underway. Again, top three drivers will get introduced onto the podium to get their awards. And again, big points, again, points and a half for this particular weekend. So I think it looks like we're maybe ready to go. Just waiting for the high sign from down on pit lane so we can get things underway. I think we're almost ready. Yeah, there we go. All right, folks, let's get things underway. Let's go down to Victory Lane and get things underway. We'll start with the driver coming home in third place today from Pabst Racing. A round of applause for number 22, Simon Sykes. Simon finishing P3 from ninth to present him with his third place trophy. Frank Skreck from Anderson Promotions. Ninth place start up to third. What a drive for Simon Sykes. And if he ends up going on a championship run, this is one that will most definitely he'll remember for sure. Then we'll move, folks, to the driver coming home in second spot, Evagoras Papasavas. Great job for Evagoras. And one of our guests from Discount Tire, Sean Christian, will present him with his second place trophy. What a battle further back in the pack. These two drivers had it kind of easy, the first and second. And let's get this driver on the podium. Folks, his first win of 2023. Give it up for the winner today for D-Force Racing, Mac Clark. What a drive for Mac up front. And Sean Christian again will do the honors of presenting him with his first P1 trophy of the season. USF Juniors champion last year, and the Canadian motorsport community will be cheering for this young driver as he gets the victory. Great drive. Getting ready to line things up, as we said, for the drivers here in USF Pro 2000. Celebrations, of course, continuing down on pit lane. Those drivers pretty happy about it. We'll get the Discount Tire hats in there. Simon Sykes cutting into the point lead of Lockie Hughes, and he'll be thrilled with that. I think I want to say it's around 4 points now between first and second as we look forward to an event at Road America in a few weeks. Matt Clark going to definitely jump himself closer, and Evagoras Papasavas with fourth coming in will gain some points on Lockie Hughes. Everybody did as Lockie finished back in sixth. Still a good run for Lockie Hughes. but tightens things up here as we go to the midway point of the season, heading to Elkhart Lake, Wisconsin. 3 drivers you could see on the grid of the Indianapolis 500 in a couple years. One more time, folks, a round of applause. The winner today, Matt Clark, coming home in second. Evagores Papasavas and Simon Sykes rounding out the top 3.